He became increasingly busy, with people from both Eastern and Western backgrounds calling or visiting him day and night. Some even invited him to appear on television to showcase his clairvoyant abilities, but he refused. He believed that this power, granted by the Buddha, was meant solely for helping those in distress and should be used only to relieve suffering, not for commercial performances or profit. His abilities were hard-earned, and he dared not misuse them. As the number of visitors grew, he had to establish new rules, requiring appointments to be made in advance. Additionally, because many visitors asked him about investments, business, and financial gain, he had to set another rule. He would never use his clairvoyance to advise on investments, wealth-seeking, profit-making, pursuing romantic interests, fortune-telling, or predicting financial luck or yearly fortunes. He said, "The Buddha granted me clairvoyance to assist in spreading the Dharma, alleviating suffering, and guiding people through crises. You must first sincerely revere the Buddha and the Bodhisattvas. If you come seeking help for health issues or disasters, and ask me to use my clairvoyance, I will certainly do my best. But if you come seeking fame or fortune, I'm sorry, I cannot serve you." He also said, running a business, investing, and making profits are things that require one's own efforts and careful planning. There is no reason to ask for the Buddha's power to guide you in doing business. I do not have the ability to know how to make money. If I did, wouldn't I first go and make myself wealthy? Why would I still be so poor, collecting old newspapers and wood to keep warm every day? Why would I still be wearing a worn-out jacket and shabby boots or shoes? I'm sorry, the Buddha has not given me the power to seek fame or fortune. I am only allowed to use my clairvoyance to diagnose illnesses and foresee disasters, and to encourage people to believe in and learn from the Buddha. The president of the Vancouver World Buddhist Association, Mr. Feng visited his home several times in October. Despite being 80 years old, Mr. Feng was vigorous and energetic, making the younger generation look feeble in comparison. Mr. Feng appeared to be in his 50s, perhaps due to his decades of sincere devotion to the Dharma, his efforts to promote Buddhism, and his deep proficiency in meditation. His meditation had reached a state of selflessness and egolessness, and he was also knowledgeable about health maintenance. In terms of academic cultivation and meditation, Mr. Feng was greatly admired by him and by all the Buddhist friends in Vancouver. Mr. Feng was also well-versed in various subjects, including the I Ching. Mrs. Feng sometimes accompanied him and once asked him to use his clairvoyance on her. He had also done so for Mr. Feng, and though he was just guessing, both Mr. and Mrs. Feng praised him. Their praise was perhaps excessive, and even if his clairvoyant report was inaccurate, they would still have supported him. He was bold enough to show off his skills, even in front of an expert. Mr. and Mrs. Feng both said that when he used his clairvoyance on them, they felt a slight warmth emanating from him, entering their foreheads, and it felt comfortable even though he did not physically touch them. In October, he used his clairvoyance on many people, though it's impossible to list them all. He could only select a few special cases to report, but since these matters involve personal privacy, he couldn't reveal detailed information or names. Instead, he used aliases and only provided a general overview. In fact, if it weren't for proving that sincere belief in the Dharma would indeed result in the Buddha granting clairvoyance, he would never have mentioned others' affairs at all. One such case involved Mrs. K, who asked him to use his clairvoyance on her. He said he saw her daughter, when she was about 13 or 14 years old, standing with many people, looking up at a strange temple statue. The statue had a bare male chest, wore a golden skirt exposing the legs, had golden snakes coiled around its arms, and had a beautiful face, resembling that of a woman. Its eyes were outlined in black with extended black tails, its lips were painted red, and it wore a golden crown with a golden cobra spitting venom as decoration. There were golden curtains draped on either side. The statue was neither male nor female, and its eyes were both stunning and fierce. There were other statues nearby as well. He continued, "This is not a Buddhist statue, nor is it from Taoism or Brahmanism. I guess it might be an Egyptian statue." The young girl pointed at the statue, and the statue cast a curse upon her. These curses are thousands of years old and very powerful, causing the girl to become mentally disturbed ever since. He described the girl's symptoms in detail, and everything matched reality. But Mrs. K said, "I never took her to see any strange statues. Canada doesn't have such megalithic temples, though the statue does somewhat resemble an Indian one," he said. "It's most likely an Egyptian pharaoh temple statue." Everyone agreed with this assumption, and Mrs. K finally remembered. That's right. 4 years ago, I took her to see the exhibition of the Egyptian pharaoh Tutankhamun. Many people went. And what you described is exactly what Tutankhamun looked like. The ancient Egyptian pharaoh Tutankhamun, who died at the age of 19, had his mummy, golden coffin, and golden statues excavated and transported to the US and Canada for exhibition. Many people flocked to see it, unaware that ancient Egyptian pyramids and royal tombs had been sealed with curses by wizards and sorcerers. Anyone who desecrated the pyramids or the dead would be attacked by the power of these curses. The archaeologists and assistants who excavated Tutankhamun's tomb had all died natural deaths one after another. Anyone who came into contact with Tutankhamun also suffered misfortune. These are facts, recorded and documented. Mrs. K should never have taken her daughter to see the exhibition of Tutankhamun's mummy and statues. The young child, ignorant of the consequences, pointed at Tutankhamun's statue and said it was neither male nor female, offending Tutankhamun and becoming cursed. When it was exhibited in Seattle, he didn't dare go see it because he knew the power of ancient Egyptian curses was formidable. Moreover, the pyramids contain corpse bacteria, and the burial items are contaminated with these bacteria, which can survive for millennia. British scientists once discovered corpse bacteria in an ancient coffin that had survived for over 2,000 years and continued to divide and reproduce. Seeing Egyptian pyramids, tombs, and mummies, whether or not one believes in the power of curses, at least requires caution regarding the corpse bacteria. Additionally, Egyptian wizards and monks were skilled at cultivating filterable toxins, which they placed on the burial gold and artifacts when sealing the tombs to poison those who desecrated or looted the graves. Many people are unaware of these dangers. Out of curiosity, they visit ancient tombs, mummies, and burial items, but when they are infected by bacteria, they remain unaware. The tombs of Emperor Qin Shi Huang and Empress Wu Zetian in China are also sealed with curses and contain countless bacteria, corpse bacteria, and filterable toxins. Chinese archaeologists and many others have excavated these tombs, bringing out burial items for exhibition. He believes that, academically, this may have some significance, but morally, it disturbs the dead and releases various toxins, which is very unhygienic and unwise. People may dismiss his warnings as alarmist, but they'll see in time. No one knew about Mrs. K's daughter's situation. How could he have known she had taken her daughter to see the Egyptian tomb statues? The young girl wasn't even present at the time, but he saw the deep imprint of the statues in her mind, haunting her constantly. When she later visited him, she admitted that whenever she closed her eyes, she saw those statues and ancient temples, relentlessly urging her, calling her. He has yet to find a remedy for her. From this example, he advised readers never to visit such ancient tomb exhibitions, and never to desecrate burial sites. Even if you don't believe in curses, you should at least believe in the existence of corpse bacteria.